Welcome to Two Robots Talking.
Good to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into something that's, well, it's moving faster than almost anyone expected. AI-generated video. Specifically, the potential dangers, the pitfalls, now that it's getting scarily good, like indistinguishable from reality good.
It really is a pivotal moment, isn't it? The fascination is one thing, but we really need to grapple with the real-world meaning of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Google's recent I/O event, VO3.
Right.
We're talking 4K video, incredible realism, camera controls, consistent characters, even AI sound and dialogue now. It feels huge.
It is huge. And what it signifies, really, is this massive drop in the barrier to entry for creating super sophisticated, realistic content.
And that's the thing, isn't it? The power is suddenly available.
Available to almost anyone, and that changes everything in terms of how we, trust what we see.
Yeah, and it's not even just the giant companies. Hani Farid was on TRM Talks.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Great interview.
He talked about using like $10 software to make a real-time deepfake avatar from one photo.
Just one picture.
Yeah. Brought to life, mimicking movements right there and then with cheap tools.
Yeah.
How does that change the game?
Well, it just shrinks the timeline, doesn't it? Things that needed experts and, big budgets now, much less skill, much less money.
So easier for everyone,
Yeah.
including people who want to misuse it.
Exactly. It accelerates everything, the good and, unfortunately, the bad.
And then there's the voice cloning. Fareed said, what, 15, 20 seconds of audio?
15, 20 seconds. That's all it takes now for a pretty convincing AI voice.
So you put that together, the video, the audio, how easy it's becoming. That's the core, right? Beyond the wow factor, what are the actual real-world dangers we need to be thinking about, like right now?
That is the critical question, because I think the novelty, the coolness of it, it's kind of blinding us to these potentially huge shifts in trust, in security, our basic grasp on reality, maybe.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The blurring of reality. Stephen Moore talked about the uncanny valley.
Right, that weird feeling when something's almost real but not quite.
Yeah. But Moore thinks AI video is just blowing past that now. He predicts, what, a few years? And we won't be able to tell the difference visually at all.
That's his prediction. And if we lose that ability, that visual check, the trust implications are just immense.
How do you believe anything you see online? Or anywhere?
Exactly. It's not just fake celebrity videos, it's news footage, evidence in court, maybe even a video call from a family member. It could undermine, well, everything.
That Hani Farid example on TRM Talks really, it really hit home for me.
The Spanish-speaking host one.
Yeah, taking a real interview, feeding it to AI, boom. Video of the host speaking perfect Spanish, voice, lip sync, everything. Done like that.
So easy. Transcription, translation, the voice synthesis, AI handles it all. Minimal effort.
What does that level of ease open the door to, really?
Well, think about disinformation, creating incredibly persuasive fake narratives, targeted, looking completely real. It becomes so much easier, so much faster.
The potential to manipulate public opinion just explodes.
It really does.
Yeah.
Significantly amplified.
And this ease, it feeds into that trust problem. Sam Gregory from Witness, he shared that example from Myanmar on the Synthetic Media podcast.
Oh, right. Where the real video was called fake.
Exactly. A likely genuine video of a politician admitting corruption, but people dismissed it, said, oh, that's a deep fake. They even used some dodgy detection tool that agreed with them. Gregory called it the liar's dividend. The mere existence of deepfakes lets people wave away real stuff. That's a really dangerous paradox, isn't it?
It fundamentally undermines truth. It's like bad actors can just point to the possibility of fakes to escape accountability for things they actually did. It weaponizes our own skepticism.
Okay, so that's the trust erosion. Let's talk about more actively malicious uses. Stephen Moore's list was pretty stark.
Yeah, he laid out some serious concerns.
Deepfake porn, targeting real people, hyper-realistic fake news, character assassination, just destroying lives with easily made fake videos. How do we even start to protect against that?
It's tough. Your traditional fact-checking legal routes, they get overwhelmed or incredibly complicated when you can't easily prove what's real.
So what then?
We probably need to shift focus more towards prevention, media literacy, building more resilient ways to share information, maybe.
Hani Farid got even more specific, and frankly, some of his examples were terrifying. Like non-consensual intimate imagery, deepfakes, so good they're indistinguishable, used for harassment, extortion.
Horrific. And these aren't just theoretical anymore. These are crimes happening now using this tech.
And the impersonation scams. Mimicking a family member in distress on a call to get money.
Or CEO fraud. A fake video call, a fake voice message, authorizing a huge wire transfer.
They're just so much more believable than the old email scams.
Way more effective because they feel personal, immediate, and real.
But the stuff involving kids that Fareed mentioned, that was just gut-wrenching.
Yeah. Using deep fakes and child abuse material, or for online grooming. Creating fake profiles or videos to coerce kids.
Leading to just awful outcomes. That feels like an absolute priority.
It has to be. The creation of synthetic CSAM is a massive new challenge, and the psychological harm of grooming using these fakes, it's devastating.
And it's not just personal crime. Fareed mentioned North Korean hackers.
Using deep fakes to apply for jobs.
Yeah. Imposter hiring. Showing up on video interviews as seemingly legitimate candidates to bypass security and get inside organizations.
Which just shows how adaptable the attackers are. They find the cracks in our systems, like relying on a video call for identity, and exploit them with the latest tech.
Okay, so the threats are serious, they're varied. What about fighting back? Detection. Safeguards.
Well, that's where it gets tricky.
Because both Gregory's Myanmar example and Fareed's studies suggest detection tech isn't really keeping up, and most of us can't spot the fakes anyway.
Right. Detection is often unreliable, easily fooled by the next generation of fakes, and human perception is surprisingly fallible here, so relying only on detection, probably a losing game.
So what's the alternative?
We need to think more about proving authenticity at the source. Like verifying where media came from, has it been tampered with? Rather than just trying to spot fakes after they're out there.
Fareed even hit this himself, right? With his Coinbase account.
Yeah, he realized their video KYC, holding up your ID on video to prove it's you, could probably be beaten by the very deepfake tech he studies, which is a pretty stark warning about those kinds of checks.
Yeah, if the expert knows it's vulnerable. And Stephen Moore called it an AI arms race. Everyone rushing to get the tech out, speed to market over safety, over ethics.
That's a big concern. If the focus is just on capability without building in safeguards, we risk creating a future where digital information is just fundamentally untrustworthy.
Which could lead to all sorts of instability.
Definitely. Societal instability, widespread manipulation.
Yeah.
It's a real risk if we don't course correct.
But there are efforts towards solutions, right? Sam Gregory mentioned things like CAI and C2PA.
Right, the Content Authenticity Initiative and the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity. They're working on standards for kind of embedding provenance data into media.
Like a digital watermark or birth certificate, showing where it came from if it was altered.
Sort of, yeah. The idea is to give users reliable signals about the media's origin and history. It's promising.
How widespread is that, though?
That's the key adoption. It needs camera makers, software companies, platforms, everyone to get on board for it to be truly effective. And importantly, as Gregory points out, it needs to be accessible globally, especially for journalists or activists who might be targeted.
And both Gregory and Fareed really stressed building ethics in from the start, like labeling AI content clearly.
Transparency is crucial. If you know something is AI generated, you approach it differently. You're not being deceived. Without labels, the potential for manipulation just goes way up.
Okay, final piece here, the speed. Fareed's point about how much faster AI is moving compared to, say, the PC or the internet revolution.
It's incredibly fast. The pace compresses the time we have to react, to adapt, to put safeguards in place.
Which makes those nightmare scenarios he mentioned feel closer.
Yeah, like the geopolitical instability one. Imagine a convincing deepfake of a world leader announcing, I don't know, a missile launch.
Instant chaos.
Exactly. The potential for weaponizing the stuff internationally is, it's a frightening prospect.
But, okay, slightly more optimistic view. Fareed did say technology can also be the solution. Companies like his, Get Real Labs, or TRM Labs. They're working on detection, verification.
Right, there is innovation happening on the defensive side. We need that. Tools to help verify, tools to help detect manipulation.
But he also pointed out the funding imbalance, didn't he?
Way more money pouring into creating generative AI than into building the defenses against it.
That feels like a problem, a critical gap.
It is. We need a more strategic allocation of resources, more investment in media forensics, authentication, public education, building that resilience.
So wrapping up this deep dive then, here on Two Robots Talking. The big takeaway. And it's pretty concerning.
Yeah.
It's just getting harder and harder, maybe soon impossible, to tell real video from fake.
Yeah.
And the dangers that unlocks are huge. Across the board. Trust, safety, even global stability.
That erosion of trust in what we see, it's a fundamental challenge. We can't just ignore it. It requires a multi-pronged response.
Yeah, seems like we need it all.
Huh?
The tech solutions like C2PA, the ethical guidelines baked into development, much better public awareness and media literacy, maybe even some smart regulation down the line.
A holistic approach.
Yeah.
Tech, ethics, education, governance. They all have to work together because the landscape is changing so fast.
And on that note, maybe a final thought for you listening, building on that speed Hanny Freed mentioned. If this tech is evolving month by month, what's our responsibility, yours, mine, tech companies, governments, to get ahead of this now? Before truly indistinguishable, easy-to-make deepfakes are just everywhere.
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on Two Robots Talking.